What is the RSI indicator?
Relative Strength Index measures momentum on a 0-100 scale. RSI above 70 suggests overbought conditions, below 30 suggests oversold conditions.
What is a death cross?
A bearish signal when the 50-day moving average crosses below the 200-day moving average, potentially indicating the start of a downtrend.
What is a golden cross?
A bullish signal when the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average, potentially indicating the start of an uptrend.
What is MACD?
Moving average convergence divergence measures trend momentum by comparing two moving averages. Signal line crossovers indicate potential buy-sell points.
What are Bollinger Bands?
Volatility bands place two standard deviations above and below a moving average. Price-touching bands may indicate overbought/oversold conditions.
What is a candlestick doji?
A candlestick pattern where open and close prices are nearly equal, creating a cross shape. Indicates indecision and potential trend reversal.
What is volume confirmation?
Price moves accompanied by high volume are more significant than those on low volume. Rising prices on increasing volume confirms bullish momentum.
What is technical analysis?
A method of evaluating securities by analyzing statistics generated by market activity, such as past prices and volume.
What is support and resistance?
Support, price level where buying pressure prevents further decline. Resistance, price level where selling pressure prevents further rise.
What is a trend line?
A line drawn over pivot highs or under pivot lows to show the prevailing price direction. Uptrend, higher lows. Downtrend, lower highs.
What is a moving average?
The average price over a specific period. Common types: SMA, simple, EMA, exponential. Used to identify trends and smooth out price data.
What is RSI, Relative Strength Index?
A momentum indicator measuring speed and change of price movements. Scale 0-100. Over 70 equals overbought, under 30 equals oversold.
What is MACD?
Moving average convergence divergence shows relationship between two moving averages of price. Signal line crossovers indicate buy-sell opportunities.
What is volume in trading?
The number of shares traded in a specific time period. High volume confirms trends, low volume suggests weakness.
What is a candlestick chart?
Shows open, high, low, close prices. Green/white candle, close higher than open. Red/black candle, close lower than open.
What is a head and shoulders pattern?
A reversal pattern indicating a trend change. Three peaks with middle peak highest. Signals potential downtrend after neckline break.
What is Bollinger Bands?
Volatility bands placed above and below a moving average. Bands expand during high volatility and contract during low volatility. Price-touching bands can signal reversals.
What is a breakout?
When price moves beyond a defined support or resistance level with increased volume. Can signal the start of a new trend.
What is the golden cross?
A bullish signal when the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average. Indicates potential long-term uptrend.
What is a gap up or gap down?
A gap occurs when price opens significantly above or below the previous close. Gaps can signal strong momentum, news impact, or exhaustion.
What is a pullback?
A temporary move against the prevailing trend, e.g., a short-term dip in an uptrend. Pullbacks can offer entries if the main trend remains intact.
What is a false breakout?
When price briefly breaks support/resistance but quickly reverses. Traders often look for volume confirmation and closing prices to reduce false signals.
What is a moving average crossover?
a signal created when a shorter-term moving average crosses above, bullish, or below, bearish, a longer-term moving average.
What is divergence, RSI/MACD?
When price makes a new high/low but the indicator does not. Divergence can signal weakening momentum and a potential reversal.
What is a volume spike?
A sudden jump in trading volume compared to normal. It often appears around breakouts, earnings, or reversals and can confirm conviction.
A stock breaks above resistance on twice its average volume. Why is the volume confirmation important?
High volume on a breakout signals strong buyer conviction and wider participation. Low volume breakouts are more prone to failure because fewer participants are committing capital to sustain the new price level.
The 50-day moving average just crossed below the 200-day moving average. What is this pattern called, and what does it suggest?
This is a death cross and is considered a bearish signal. It suggests the short-term trend has weakened relative to the long-term trend, though it is a lagging indicator and the move may already be priced in.
RSI is at 75 and the stock keeps making new highs. Should you automatically sell because RSI signals overbought?
No. In strong uptrends, RSI can remain overbought for extended periods. Overbought does not mean the price must reverse, it signals strong momentum. Look for bearish divergence or a break of trend structure before acting.
You notice a stock forming lower highs and lower lows on the daily chart. What trend structure does this describe, and what does it imply?
This is a downtrend structure. Each rally fails at a lower level and each decline reaches a new low, indicating sellers are in control. Traders typically avoid long entries until the pattern breaks.
How can Bollinger Bandwidth help you anticipate a big price move before it happens?
When Bollinger Bands contract tightly, low bandwidth, it signals low volatility which often precedes a significant expansion. This squeeze does not predict direction, but alerts you that a large move is likely imminent.
A stock gaps up 8% on earnings but then fills the gap by end of day. What might this gap fill tell you about buyer conviction?
A gap fill suggests the initial enthusiasm was not sustained by follow-through buying. Sellers stepped in at higher prices, and the lack of conviction could signal that the move was overdone or that resistance is nearby.
Why is a MACD histogram shrinking, getting smaller, even though it is still positive, considered a potential warning sign?
A shrinking positive histogram means bullish momentum is decelerating, even though the short-term MA is still above the long-term MA. This deceleration often precedes a bearish signal line crossover.
You draw a support line at $45 where the stock bounced 3 times. The stock then closes at $44. What is the typical next step for a technical trader?
A close below support suggests a potential breakdown. Technical traders watch for confirmation, e.g., follow-through selling, increased volume, before acting. The broken support at $45 often becomes new resistance.
What is the key difference between using a 10-day EMA and a 50-day SMA for identifying trend changes?
The 10-day EMA reacts faster to price changes and gives more weight to recent data, producing earlier signals but more false alarms. The 50-day SMA is smoother and slower, filtering noise but lagging real turns.
Price makes a new high but RSI makes a lower high. What is this called, and why do traders pay attention to it?
This is bearish divergence. It signals that momentum is weakening even as price pushes higher, which can foreshadow a reversal. However, divergence alone is not a sell signal, confirmation from price action is needed.
Why do many institutional traders watch the VWAP, volume weighted average price, level throughout the trading day?
VWAP represents the average price weighted by volume and serves as a benchmark for institutional execution quality. Price above VWAP suggests bullish intraday bias, below suggests bearish. Institutions often target fills near VWAP. A
stock has been in a range between $50 and $60 for 3 months. How would you use the measured move technique to set a price target after a breakout above $60?
The measured move technique adds the range height, $10, to the breakout level, $60, giving a target of $70. The idea is that the energy stored during consolidation can produce a move equal to the range width.